So you're probably going to hear some cat noises because it's raining and the cat wants to go outside and he can't, and he's very upset about that. Yeah? He just looks very angry. I'm the martial arts film freak, and I finally watched Nightshooters.
If they saw any of that, boss, we could be in the shit.
Right, boys, let's go!
No! It's a fucking demolition floor, you dickhead! Who the fuck was doing the fancy roundhouse kicks and shit?
Don't look at me, that's fucking racist.
It's a fucking compliment!
Not a compliment, that's even more racist!
It'll be a long night while you put them all down, but I can't have anyone escaping.
Find them and fucking kill them!
Nightshooters was an independent film from last year, very low budget. I finally got around to watching it because it was just kind of roaming around there outside of the US. It was on Amazon Prime, and I got very excited, and then it turned out it wasn't on American Amazon Prime. It was only in the UK. Now it's finally on American Amazon Prime, and I watched it, and I'm very excited that I did. Are you excited? It just kind of blends into my shirt, huh? Nightshooters was written and directed by Mark Price and stars Jean-Paul Lee, as well as a bunch of other actors who I was really just here for Jean-Paul Lee. I enjoyed everybody else, but I was pretty much just here for him. Nightshooters is about a sort of film school crew shooting a movie in a abandoned warehouse building where they witness a murder. They witness like an execution from like a gang, and the gang sees them and tracks them down, and they have to get out of the building. And to make things worse, the building is being demolished by morning. The film crew must each come together and use their separate skills to fight back. One woman is sort of the pyrotechnic, is that the right word? She makes bombs and stuff, and so she sort of constructs random weapons from whatever she can find to fight back. You got the makeup woman who really doesn't do anything. You got the director who really doesn't do anything. You got the film star, the actor, who I kept waiting for her to do something, but he never really did. The boom mic audio guy kind of comes in handy. He sort of, has his mic and he listens down hallways and stuff to see where things are. He just ended up being much more useful than you'd think he would be. And then of course Jean-Paul Lee, who is the stunt double for the actor and handles pretty much all of the action here. And he is phenomenal. Jean-Paul Lee also, I believe, choreographed the film, which bravo to him for that. He did a wonderful job. Something I think this film did really well is building the characters and their relationships. Just based off 10 or 15 minutes of seeing everybody move around their set, you get a hang of who they are and their personalities and how they feel about one another. The star is a lazy, washed up piece of garbage, pretty much. The director is, thinks he's a tough guy, but he's not really. The woman who handles the explosives is immediately just tough as nails and doesn't take any shit. There's just a lot of really good character work between everybody. Like, if certain characters do or don't make it, you actually start to worry about how it will affect the others if someone doesn't get out alive. And another thing this movie does really well is actually like sort of melding genres. This is an action martial arts movie, but I'd also say it's a dark comedy. At times it's a horror movie. And that's not just because this movie that this film crew is shooting is a horror movie, it's a zombie movie, but because there's really only two characters that know how to handle themselves, being the woman who makes the explosives and Jean-Paul Lee's character Donnie, whenever other characters are in danger, you actually worry. Like, At one point, they're hiding in this room with a bunch of boxes, and the audio guy is just sort of listening to make sure no one's coming. And you really don't know what's going to happen to them. And like I said, the movie does a really good job of actually making you care about these characters and their relationships. So in moments like this, the movie just sort of morphs into a horror movie and does a really good job of that. Now, in terms of the action, the fight scenes at least, the reason we're here, they're fantastic, I think. There's not really many. There's probably only like 3.5. And the reason I say 3.5 is I think for the last 30 minutes, it sort of stops being a martial arts movie, which is completely fine. At that point, we're really just wanting these characters to get out of the building safe. But Jean-Paul Lee is incredible. Jean-Paul Lee, you may recognize from Jailbreak from last year. He tried to steal Doctor Strange's watch. And then you can also see him this summer getting beat up by Jason Statham in Hobbs and Shaw. But from what I was able to tell, he actually handled a majority of like the actual choreography. He came up with most of it, from what I could find out. And if that's the case, frickin' amazing. I say frickin' a lot, and I'm sorry. I mean, he pulls it off flawlessly. I mean, as I guess he should. You watch any fight scene with Jean-Paul Lee, and it's ridiculous how great he is. And if he can just put on his resume that he choreographed this whole thing, then that just feels like he should just get a job anywhere he wants. Like, this feels like small movies like this are just made to display and show off guys like him. Like, Ong Bak was made to show off Tony Jaa. Like, this just feels like... It doesn't feel like his Ong Bak, because if you've seen Jailbreak, there's a lot more people in Jailbreak, but, you know, he's great in Jailbreak. The movie is also extremely creative in its choreography. From the beginning, you know, these are just students or something. These are just regular people. They aren't really down with just killing these criminals. And so sort of the moves and things that Jean-Paul Lee and even the woman who handled the explosives, they aren't actively trying to kill anyone until it gets to a certain point where it's just brought to that moment. And when they do have to start killing people, it gets extremely creative. Jean-Paul Lee has a fight scene with a guy where it's really gory and it's really creative, and it made me wince for a second before just shouting about how cool it was. There are movies that, I guess, make someone a star in the eyes of fans. You know, the Undisputed movies, thanks to the Undisputed movies, like, martial arts fans just want to see Scott Adkins and everything. Ong Bak, Protector, Tony Jaa, The Raid Redemption, Iko Uwais. You know, Donnie Yen's been a star for forever now. But, you know, we as fans, we always want to be like, oh, what if Tony Jaa fought Donnie Yen? What if Scott Adkins fought, you know, Michael Jai White, which you've seen a million times? But this is the movie that I think will get fans going like, oh, what if Jean-Paul Lee fought whoever, Iko Uwais? Like, I would love to see that. I genuinely just want to see Jean-Paul Lee do more and more and more. And I don't care what it is. I'm happy he gets, you know, these paydays, getting beaten up in Doctor Strange and Hobbs and Shaw. But I need to see Jean-Paul Lee do more bigger roles where he gets to do amazing fight scenes and choreography like he does in this movie. Everyone's probably not always the best actor. And sure, there are definitely times where that makes a movie just... I zone out sometimes with certain movies, you know, when the acting is so bad. But usually that also has something to do with, you know, the way characters are written or the way the script is written in general. But the way the script is written and the way the characters interact with each other, I really didn't care that certain people didn't act great. We're not great actors. Is that a better way to say that statement? And then, of course, with the action, it was... Maybe not. It's not some of the best I've ever seen. It's some of the flashiest, and it's some of the most fun. That's how I would describe this action. It's not maybe the best I've seen, you know, compared to something like Triple Threat or John Wick this year. But in terms of just having fun with the choreography and the fight scenes, incredible. I absolutely loved it. So, you know, story, characters, martial arts, acting, action, all that stuff. I'd probably give this movie something like a 4.2 glass shards to the face. That'll make sense when you watch it. So painful. Please watch this movie. It is on Amazon Prime in the US and in the UK. I'm not sure about anywhere else. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I just recommend finding a way to watch this movie. Please don't steal it. Stealing is bad, and people need to get paid. This was a very low-budget movie. This isn't like, you know, Jean Paul got paid $3 million on the spot to be in this movie. Like, I don't know how much he made, but it probably wasn't the most in the world. Head over to martialjournal.com for reviews, articles on martial arts, workouts, philosophies, book reviews, movie reviews, all that great stuff. I'm going to have a new one up there soon. Actually, probably already should by the time this video is out. Thank you for watching. Follow me on the Instagram at Martial Arts Film Facts and on the Twitter, link below. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below, what are you excited for still this coming out this year? Are you excited to see Hobbs and Shaw? Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Subscribe and stuff, all that.